Ladies and gentlemen, our next guest is serving his second term in the United States Senate, representing the state of Georgia as its senior senator. Before coming to our nation's capital, he served in the Georgia Air National Guard from 1966 to 1972. He graduated from the University of Georgia. He began his business career in 1967 when he opened a small family-owned real estate business. During his 20 years as president of the company, it grew into the largest independent residential real estate brokerage company in the Southeast and one of the largest in America. He was elected to the Georgia House of Representatives in 1977, serving until 1990. In 1992, he was elected to the Georgia State Senate, serving one term. In 1999, he won a special election to the U.S. House of Representatives to replace Newt Gingrich. He was reelected to the House 3 times before running for and winning his current U.S. Senate seat in 2004, winning re-election in 2010. As a member and current chairman of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, Senator Isakson has worked tirelessly to bring oversight and accountability to the federal agency responsible for providing care and support to our nation's veterans. As a veteran himself, he's been a member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee since he joined the Senate 11 years ago. He also played a crucial role in the enactment of the massive VA reform bill, the Veterans Access, Choice, and Accountability Act of 2014. Georgia is home to more than a dozen military bases, as well as more than 750,000 veterans. In addition to aiding veterans who served in past years, Senator Isakson has worked to strengthen our armed forces and continues to show a steadfast commitment to the men and women serving our country today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to introduce from the Peach State of Georgia, Chairman of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, and this year's recipient of the Distinguished Public Service Award, the Honorable Johnny Isakson. Welcome, sir.
This is a great way to start a day. I woke up and it was raining, and I said, well, you're going to be blue on a rainy day, and then I realized I was going to be with the American Legion. Then it didn't get any better than that, so I'm glad to be with all of you today, and I thank you for your service, because around the world, from Post 123 in the Philippines to my home post, where I'm a member, 130 in Loganville, Georgia, members of the American Legion every day fight for the benefits of veterans, honor those who served in the past, and look forward to serving those who are serving today. And I thank you and the Legion for your advocacy for America's soldiers and America's veterans around the country. Let me take just a minute, and I thank you very much for the recognition you're giving me today, but I don't really deserve it. You know, we get so much credit sometimes as members of the House and Senate, but the credit really goes to each of you. I'm your servant. You're not mine. Now, when I wake up every day, I know that I work for the people that I represent in Georgia, and in the bigger sense, the veterans of America as chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee. I'm going to be brief, but I'm going to be very succinct this morning. I have one goal and one goal only in the first 2 years of my service, which ends at the end of this year. I'm not going to be a member of the committee who stands before an interview on television and talks about what I should have done when I was chairman. We're going to fix the VA problems, we're going to empower the VA workers, and we're going to see to it the veterans of America get the services they deserve in the fashion and the timeliness they deserve to get it. Later today, when I make remarks at the Budget Committee and then later on this week in the Senate Committee, I have set a goal for our committee and for myself, and I've shared it with the Secretary of the VA, with Deputy Secretary Gibson, and all the members of my committee. This business about trying to figure out how to make members of the VA accountable has got to stop. I know what accountability means. Accountability means you do your job or there are consequences. We've had too many situations in the service of our veterans where the consequences for bad service was no service at all. And I'm going to see to it that that changes. I'm working with Bob McDonald, the Secretary, now, other members of the VA and members of the committee. By the 31st day of March, we're going to have a bill ready to go out of the Senate. I've worked with Jeff Miller in the House, and they're going to be ready to receive it. And hopefully before June gets here, because once June gets here, the election in November is going to take over everything we do, and we're not going to get much done. I'm going to see to it that we have addressed accountability of the Veterans Administration and a situation where every member of the Veterans Administration charged with serving a veteran, whether it's a disability claim, whether it's a review of a claim, whether it's an appeal, whether it's a medical service, whatever it might do, gets the accountable service with a smile they deserve, or that person that didn't give it to them doesn't work for the VA anymore. Every November I come up for accountability. Every 6 years in November I come up for accountability, and this is my year. The people of Georgia go to the polls this November, and they get to kick me out or keep me in. And that holds me accountable. So when my phone rings, I answer the phone. When people have a problem, I try and help them. That's the same type of attitude every employee of the VA services and VA healthcare services need to bring to the veterans of America. And you know, a lot of the things you read about in the media at the VA that have gone wrong are past history. Secretary McDonald has gotten a bad rap sometimes by IG reports that were 2, 3, or 4 years old. And that's a shame. And in fact, I think during the 2 years I have worked with Secretary McDonald, he has done more than any person I have known to work to correct the problems in his agency. There are still problems, but we're moving in the right direction. The Veterans Choice implementation has gone from bumpy and ragged to improving every day. We're tearing down the stovepipes so that all non-VA services float freely so our veterans get good health care service and good access to it. We're going to see to it that our caregivers in the pre-9/11 period of time get what due that they deserve and the compensation they deserve for the benefit they provide to those veterans of the Vietnam War and Grenada and Panama and others. That's something I'm committed to do and will happen this year. And it's going to happen in a bipartisan fashion. You know, no one party gets it always right and always wrong, and nobody fighting for America fights for just Democrats or just Republicans. They fight for Americans. Don't show me your party, show me your loyalty to the country, and I'm going to see to it that we work together, Patty Murray and I as a member of the Senate committee, working together now to see to it caregivers benefits to pre-9/11 people who are providing services to our veterans happens as a reality this year. We're going to see to it, and I give President Obama credit. In his speech earlier last year, he said he wanted to reduce veterans' homelessness, and we have reduced it by 33%. But that's only a third of the step. We got to get it 100%. We got to do it now. No veteran who fought for us to have a home should not have a home and a roof over his head to live in or hers. And I know from visiting hospitals from Denver to Atlanta and from Phoenix to Raleigh that we've got to make sure and see to it that our veteran services who are provided by women get the same services, the same privacy, and the same medical attention that a male veteran gets, and I'm going to see to it that happens on my watch as chairman of the VA committee. But in the end, it's your VA. You know, Secretary McDonald created a new program within the VA called My VA. I ran a company, and you always need a logan, you need a bumper sticker, and you need a slogan. And when you say My VA, it's your VA, and it's my VA. It's our VA. It's America's VA. Because if it wasn't for the Veterans Administration and the veterans who served our country, there would be no United States of America. Let me tell you something. We live in the greatest country on the face of this earth. You don't find anybody trying to break out of the United States of America. They're all trying to break in. And for a very good reason. For a very good reason. Our citizens volunteer and fight and in some cases give their life for the freedoms and the liberties our forefathers guaranteed us with the Constitution, and we fight for it to preserve today. That does not go unnoticed, and it will never go unappreciated. So on behalf of all the people in the United States of America and as chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee of the United States Senate, thank you for your service to the country when you served. Thank you for your service to the Legion and the veterans today. Thank you for all you've done for me. And remember this, we live in the greatest country on the face of this earth. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
I now recognize Commander Barnett for the purpose of a presentation.